Good morning, y'all. David Atkins, target individual. I am feeling better than I was yesterday, a lot better. Um, Taking my garlic regimen as usual. And I've found some stuff about smart cities, and this might be a little bit off the subject of target individuals, but it's very interesting because, smart cities, the rumor is, and I believe it, and they are designing stuff like Amazon stuff, Wi-Fi and sidewalks and amongst other stuff, and they're putting these smart cities in place. So you can do your own research. This is the information I got, and the person that tried to send me this information sent it 3 times, and every time you click the link, it'd be blank. They kept erasing it, and they kept erasing it. Well, finally, he got through, and so I'm going to read this to you before it gets erased again. Okay, and I'm coming from, and it's very interesting. You'll want to hang on to it. Um, it ain't nothing new with a target individual, though. They already know what we do all the time. This has to do with our target individuals in a sense that, it'd probably get worse for us. But, it's, because our smarts, because it says right here, how smart cities will lock up humanity inside open air concentration camps. Well, us target individuals are already in our own concentration camp. But this is very interesting stuff, and I ask that you'll take the time to listen. Okay, I always do a little Bible verse. Like I say, I love you if you ain't a believer, but I am a believer, and that's how I deal with my targeting. God's been there for me, but if you ain't, just fast forward. You don't want to hear it, just fast forward a little bit, and you'll hear the information because I do quick little verses, and I'm done. Okay, so something interesting I want to tell y'all, and this is proof. This is for my believers. This is proof that God looks at our hearts. He don't look at what we done. Okay, Peter, I'm going to go in this real quick. All right, God told Peter, Jesus told Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times before the rooster crows. Well, anyway, when they got Jesus and he was on his way to the cross or whatever, Peter denied him 3 times. Everybody tried to say, hey, you were with Jesus, and he denied him. Okay, so listen what happened when Jesus wrote. This proves that God looks at your heart. So if you sin against God and feel guilty and stuff, and I'm not saying it's okay to go do it purposely. I'm just saying God looks at your heart. He knows your heart. He knows your intentions. He knows when you make mistakes but you really mean well. Here, I'm fixing to prove it. And then I'm going to get to the information real quick. Jesus restores Peter. So when they had eaten breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me more than these? And you have to understand he's feeling guilty because he just denied Jesus 3 times, and Jesus just rose from the dead. So now he's got to face his friend who he denied. Okay, so when they had eaten breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me more than these? And he said to him, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. He said to him, feed my lambs. And then he said to him again a second time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? And he said to him, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. And he said to him, tend my sheep. And then he said to him the 3rd time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? And Peter was grieved because he said to him the 3rd time, do you love me? And that's Jesus talking, do you love me? He said to him, he's talking about Jesus. Peter was grieved because Jesus said to him the 3rd time, do you love me? And he said to him, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. And Jesus said, feed my sheep. Most assuredly, I say to you, when you were younger, you girded yourself and walked where you wished. But when you're old, you will stretch out your hands, and another will gird you and carry you where you do not wish. This he spoke, signifying by what death he would glorify God. And when he had spoken to this, he said to them, follow me. Now, that shows, he said to him, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. So, Peter knew he figured it out. God knew his heart. And, God went on, to appoint Peter a high position in the church. And I don't want to say it, not the church. Well, see, the church, but the church are the people. See, people think church. Church is not a building. Church is the people of God. Okay, we are the church if we're believing. Okay, anyway, so, that's crazy because I know it and it came to my head. Anyway, let me see. Maybe I can come here right. Anyway, he appointed Peter over the disciples. And, Peter denied him. But see, Peter got the thing. God judges your heart. Peter said to him, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. And Jesus said to him, feed my sheep. Okay, here, let me get to this thing. Information. How smart cities will lock up humanity inside open air concentration camp. A smart city is an urban environment with omnipresent surveillance and data harvesting technologies that will monitor and record even the most intimate personal details of everyone. The goal is to know everything about everybody, what you eat and drink, where you go, what you buy, who you meet, what you think, how you feel, your opinions, your habits, your health and vaccination status, and so on. Every little detail. The justification for this all-encompassing surveillance is that this is supposed to be essential to save the planet from climate change. They also guarantee it will make your life more connected, safer, and healthier. Every aspect of a life in a smart city will be monitored by a wide variety of data harvesting technology. Smart lights, smart poles, smart cars, smart neighborhoods, smart homes, smart appliances, smart energy, smart transportation, and many other smart technologies. Together they will form an omnipresent surveillance grid, continually collecting all information about every little detail of the people. Smart cities create the Internet of Bodies. These external smart devices are being synchronized with the devices that are directly connected to the human body, like smartwatches on our wrist or smartphones in our hand. They're able to gather information about what is happening in our body and even have the ability to alter the functions of the human body. In the near future, they will be implanted inside the human body to collect even more data and have a lot more influence on what happens inside of us. The personal information gathered by these billions of devices worldwide form a network called the Internet of Bodies, or in short, IOB. Currently, we're familiar with the Internet of Things, IoT, which allows us to access unlimited information about everything. The Internet of Bodies will essentially be the same, except it will gather information, all personal, most intimate information about everybody. This data will be in the hands of global corporations, governments, banking, imperiums, etc. A smart city limits your movement. In order to make sure everyone remains within the perimeter of data harvesting, movement in smart cities will be limited to 15 to 20 minutes from the home. This concept was coined the phase 15-minute city is being promoted as the best idea ever for saving the planet from climate change. Everything you need will be made available within a short distance, so no one needs to go any beyond this perimeter. For longer distances, a permit will be required. Now, right there, I have to beg a differ. I question that information. I do not think that would happen. I might be wrong, so I'm not quoting that. However, the first stuff I've read is already happening. You know, they know everything about it. They're setting it up, and I do think smart cities will be set up, but I don't know about be limited to 15 to 20 minutes from home. I don't know about that, and I doubt that very seriously. But there's still more information to come that's good in this video. Okay, on top of this, 30% of all wilderness areas will be closed off as an encouragement for people to seek their happiness inside the smart cities instead of venturing into the majestic outdoors. Virtual realities are being created as an alternative to spend time in nature. Example, the metaverse and its all its alternatives. Lock the world population up inside smart cities where they enjoy life in a virtual realm. Okay, one more thing on this. All right. It's so easy now to call Amazon or order something from Amazon and get it delivered same day. You know, so I think they're trying to institute this because all these companies are making it where they'll deliver. You ain't got to leave your home. There's zero privacy in a smart city. The World Economic Forum wrote an article on Forbes.com that described the experience of a citizen inside a smart city who praises it as heaven on earth. How come we never thought of this before? One of the characteristics will be that no one will own anything. Everything will be shared. Homes, cars, tools, even clothes. At the end of the post, the citizen expressed one concern about a life in a smart city. I doubt that very serious. I may be wrong. And this is the dude talking about. This dude was describing the smart city. And he ain't saying, I don't understand what this dude's saying. But, listen, it says, anyway, I'm going to say it one more time. The World Economic Forum wrote an article on Forbes.com. Now, this was on Forbes.com that describes the experience of a citizen inside a smart city. So, who praises it as heaven on earth? How come we never thought of this before? And one of the characteristics, and the dude explained it in Forbes.com, one of the characteristics would be that no one will own anything. Everything will be shared. And then what I said. All right. At the end of the post, the citizen expresses one concern about life in a smart city. Once in a while, I get annoyed about the fact that I have no real privacy, nowhere I can go and not be registered. I know that somewhere everything I do is think and dream of is recorded. I just hope that nobody will use it against me. All in all, it is a good life. The central nervous system of smart cities will be 5G. According to former Chilean President Sebastian Pinera, 5G is not only able to read our thoughts, but can insert thoughts and emotion into everyone. He stated it will become the central nervous system of society. He guaranteed that they will make sure it reaches every home in the country. Interesting, all streetlights in smart cities are also concealed 5G antennas. Smart cities harvest everyone's data. Why do they want everyone to live in smart cities, and what is their motivation behind recording every little detail about us all? The answer is given by Israeli professor Yuval Noah Harari, who is an advisor to the World Economic Forum. He explains the new masters of the world would be those that own the data. And that's one of the reasons us targeted individuals are hooked up to AI and all this stuff, because they're mining our data. All these corporations, you may be a test subject for Lockheed Martin, you may be a test subject for somebody else, but they're mining. The company that comes up with the most data and completes the data and they own the data. Whoever wins this owns the data. The new masters of the world will be those that own the data. So they're in a race to see who can get the most data, and they need raw emotion, fear, anger, real emotion, fabricated by scenes they create in us. Okay, the wealth of today is no longer gold or oil. It is data. The more data a corporation, government, banking, population, imperium has about the population, the more power it affords them. Smart cities will be an unprecedented way to use humanity as one massive herd of data cows. Personal data will be milked from us all day long, even while we sleep. Apart from gathering tremendous amounts of data, these technologies allow for levels of control that are unheard in previous civilizations. A former Silicon Valley engineer, Aman Jabi, is sounding the alarm that the smart cities will essentially be open concentration camps. By giving them your data, you give them the ability to monitor and assess your behavior, which can now be converted into a social credit score. That score is then used to determine what privileges you qualify for and which ones you don't in the new slave society. The social credit score is already being deployed in China, and during the 2020 pandemic, many nations implemented the first steps towards a system of control. Digital ID and digital currencies will be at the center of this grid. When people disobey or criticize the system, their spending will be curtailed and access to basic aspects of society will be blocked. Again, this is happening already in China, which is the testing ground for the rest of the world. Will smart cities edit the human genome? A concerning fact about smart cities is that all streetlights are LED lights, which have the ability to manipulate the human genome. Gene expressions can be turned off or on with LED lights, which can also activate, and I'm not going to go into that because I'm not allowed to talk about that on YouTube. Scientific studies documenting these facts abound online, which begs the question. And I'm sorry, I can't even go into that one either. Okay. But you can put two and two together if you know what I'm saying, and if you're smart enough. Klaus Schwab, founder of the World Economic Forum, promoted the agenda of the human gene editing. He openly says it would change what it means to be human. WEF advisor Yuval Harari even goes as far as to state the financial elites were split from humanity, as they will be genetically edited to become far superior to normal people. Economic inequality will become biological equality. Harari says elites will become homo deus, divine beings or gods. In their own mind, maybe, because nobody can become God. If all these ideas weren't being promoted worldwide by people in groups such as Bill Gates and Obama, CNN, Facebook, United Nations, World Economic Forum, and countless other outlets of these elites, we would securely think it's the script of a science fiction movie, but it's a horrific reality being pushed at a tremendous scale. Remember, it's already being tested in China. During a recent World Government Summit in Dubai, Klaus Schwab stated that these developments are no longer in the future, but are being developed right now. His exact words were, they will come like a tsunami, and indeed it's being rolled out at full speed. In Rio de Janeiro, for example, 450,000 streetlights are being replaced with 5G-equipped LED lights. The chart below shows how major cities in Latin America are being turned into smart cities. And you'll see this chart, deployment of smart city application. All right, these cities, Santiago, Buenos Aires, Mexico City, and it's just showing, it's just a little thing. I wish I could show it to you. And I might, I got to learn how to insert stuff. And I'm sorry I can't show you that chart, but, I have to learn how to insert pictures and stuff. I haven't learned that yet. The same is happening in London, Paris, every other major city in the world. Millions upon millions of LED 5G streetlights are being positioned in every city, few meters in every few meters in every street of every city. Bill Gates has invested into the building of a new smart city in Arizona that can house 80,000 people, all centered around a massive data center. And they're destroying 3,000 farms for a mega smart city. In the Netherlands, the government recently announced the destruction of 3,000 farms in order to make room for a monster smart city called the Tri-State City Network, which will house 40 million people from Belgium, Germany, and the Netherlands. Their logic for seizing the land, destroying all the animals of 3,000 farms, is that they emit too much CO2, which is destroying the planet, and yet replacing green pastures with a monster smart city is good for the environment? Currently, most of the Netherlands is beautiful countryside with green pastures, windmills, creeks, and historic farms. Unique in the world, truly beautiful and full of history. The government wants to transfer all that beautiful scenic countryside into one massive smart city called Holland City. And it shows a blueprint. It shows the thing on it. There. I wish I could let you. That's the design. In Australia, the government has passed a law that allows residents of rural areas to be forcefully moved to smart cities when their area has been contaminated with dangerous toxins. With the Ohio train derailment, we have seen how easy it is for the vast area to be contaminated. Are we seeing a precedent here? With the organization of a few train crashes, millions could be removed from rural areas and forced into smart city. Humanity must wake up. The sheer evil of this agenda is indescribable, but what is even worse, the persistent unwillingness of the public to acknowledge something that is threatening their very existence. They insist on keeping their eyes closed, only caring for superficial entertainment, staying dumb and blind at all costs, since ignorant is bliss. If we remain in this blatant state of foolishness, we will go down in the most horrendous nightmare this world has ever seen. If there ever was a time in the history of the world to open our eyes, it's surely now. We no longer have the luxury of hiding our heads in the sand. This is no conspiracy theory as it's being rolled out worldwide at an unfathomable speed. Under cover of the pandemic, millions of 5G towers were eradicated in every country of the world. LED lights are being installed everywhere. And I can't say that, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, ask me in the comments. If the elite's agenda is to ensure regular, and I can't say that either. I gotta skip that. Sorry. What can we do to stop this madness? Is there a way to stop this insanity? Yes, first and foremost, we must educate the people in our communities. The sole reason the tyrants are able to pull this off is the ignorance of the masses. People haven't got the slightest clue what is looming over their heads. They go along unquestioningly with anything that directs them towards this dystopian nightmare. It is our duty to inform them any way we can. Please share this video widely and send it to your contacts. Spread it far and wide. We are the 99%, the tyrants are the only 1%, but the problem is most of us are doing nothing. The majority even refuse to see what is right in front of their noses. They have their needles in their arms, smartphones in their hands, LED lights in their streets, smart meters in their homes, and smart technology in their cars, and still say it's all a conspiracy theory. The insanity of this refusal to see reality is nothing less than psychosis. We must open our eyes, but not tomorrow, but today. So anyway, I'm done with that video. And there's a dude that's really discrediting and targeting individuals. And I'm not going to mention his YouTube channel on here. But if you want to know his YouTube channel name, ask me in the comments. Because if I mention his name, he gets an alert. Just like he put my name somewhere along with a bunch of other YouTube makers, target individuals, and he's discrediting us, trying to. But, we all know this is real. There's thousands of patents for every technology I talk about. I've also proven it with countless experiments I've talked about that's been documented, and some of them even apologized for by the government. Yet this nut job wants to make fun of us and try to say that we're nut jobs. No, we're just woke and we're victims, and we know what's going on. And I can't wait. Well, I don't want to wish this upon nobody, but maybe one day he'll become a victim and wish he'd never made fun of us on YouTube. He's down on us, but it's clearly he's controlled opposition. He's probably a CIA agent, NSA, something like that. A plant sit to start discrediting us. He's only got like 53 subscribers, and if you ask me in the comments, what what his name is, I will be gladly give you his channel, and then you can go see for yourself. It's ridiculous how people don't take time to research and see people get tortured, burned alive in their homes, and there's evidence and patents to prove it. Patents to prove it that this technology exists, and there's even a law against using electronic weapons in Michigan, a law on the books. So if this didn't exist and electronic harassment, nothing didn't exist, why is there a law against it? Anyway, that's all I got. I might be Wednesday or Thursday before I do another video. I mean Thursday or Friday. I know I'm taking the day off tomorrow. But anyway, God bless y'all, and that's something to think on. Why is there a law against electronic harassment and electronic weapons in Michigan if it's not real? David Atkins, Target Individual. Good day.